population that is actually being given free ration, because otherwise they don't have enough food. So when you're able to go and say, when you're able to go and say something like that to your audience and say 80 crore people in India are hungry and our government is having to give them free ration so that they don't suffer from hunger, then we have a situation where you're saying clearly, as soon as you say that, you understand. I can give you one other statistic also. The other statistic happens to be that about 40% of the Indian population, I think it's higher, but 40% of the Indian population is surviving on one meal. They eat only once a day. As soon as I say something like that to anybody in the audience, suddenly you're paying attention to me. 100% of your attention is on me and what I'm saying. That's how you use data and statistics powerfully. But remember, you need to back up this data with references. You can't just make things up, right? This data about 80 crore people getting free ration, look anywhere, go to Google News and search and you'll be able to find that. It's not a made up number. The one meal a day, the number 40%, the accuracy of that number I don't know, but one meal a day is definitely right. And this is data from government sources, not from somebody who's just trying to be bad to India or something like that. Okay? So then, the other thing to talk about when you talk about a problem, identifying a problem and articulating it is, there is this idea of a pain point. What is a pain point? Something that is causing me some kind of pain, is affecting me. It's creating some kind of a problem for me that I'm facing on a regular basis. And preferably this needs to be something that's a regular basis. My pain point is that, for example, I do not have public transportation to come from my house to this place. Right? There is a pain point that traffic is going left, right and center. You talk about Vizag traffic is growing and all of that. But, and they keep coming with all kinds of solutions which are widening of roads and so on. But you're not addressing the problem that you're having. The reason why you're having more and more two-wheelers, three-wheelers and four-wheelers is because we have fewer and fewer buses, and those buses are not taking me from one place to another place at the time of my convenience. Right? When are people going to be using it the most? During work days, when they're going to school, college or work. And when are they going to use it during the day? In the morning, probably between 7 and 10, and then in the evening again from 4 to whatever, or some schools and colleges at a certain time. So that happens to be a pain point. There is another pain point. There are people who are here in a hostel. All the hostels in Andhra University function between 12:30 and 1:30. Right? And in the evening, what time?
Evening 10:30. 5:30.
Dinner is served at 5:30.
No, sir, 7:30 to 9.
Ah, right. So dinner is served between 7:30 to 9. I go to a movie. I go to a movie, I sacrifice my dinner. If I go to, a stick for my dinner, then I can't go out and enjoy anywhere because I need to come back between this particular time. So that happens to be a pain point, right? Another pain point could be the food that is being served in your hostel or in your cafeteria is not up to the mark. It's not really attractive. It's not something that you think is worth it. And therefore, you end up going outside and buying food. My biggest pain point, because most of you IIM students would understand this, no place to walk safely in MVP colony. Actually anywhere in Vizag, but definitely in MVP colony. And your own institute does not do anything even though they have the power to go and complain and say this is not, our students need safe places to walk. Your own institute, surrounding your entire institute, there are shops, thanks to one footpath that they laid, that shop, the guys are now storing their carts on the footpath, so you can't use it. And then there's got that corner that you have. There's even a food plaza. The guys even advertise this is a food plaza. They've taken over, public property and they've said food plaza. Yeah, because GVMC gets a, cut it, obviously. But they won't do anything. Why that? Raitu Bazaar. There are enough stalls that are empty inside Raitu Bazaar. But all the guys want to be outside. All the fruits that you're buying are outside. Fruits that are inside need to be sold at a particular quality and a particular price and all of that. Outside, there's nobody controlling them. And you think it's convenient, I'll buy it outside because I don't want to go inside. But inside is where you can actually go and complain and say this person cheated me or this person did not give me good quality. Right? So there are all these pain points around you. These are points, these are problems that I am facing, and these are problems that are not helping me live a comfortable life. They are causing some pain to me, and therefore I need to do something about it. Maybe your teachers are not coming to classes regularly. Maybe you are not getting the kind of practical experience that you need. Maybe you don't have, a place to play. Where is the playground for IIM? No, they have inside, they have one small area where they all have to, everybody has to try and sit as well as play and all of that. But more importantly, they have another pain point. They're busy doing other things, they don't play. Do any of you play at all?
Interesting. What do you play?
Badminton.
Inside your camp?
Yeah, they have a small area, that's what I'm telling you. That small area is where they play on. The ground that they have opposite the J.S. Raja College ground and whatever stadium, opposite that is given off for rent regularly, very regularly. And there's one more thing that happens there. I live on this side of your institute, so I know all of these things. So there's one more thing. They have a cricket commentary. People play cricket regularly, blocks the tent. They put a tent and they give cricket commentary. The stupidest idea that I've ever seen that is being repeated continuously over there is that the problem here is they put mics, loudspeakers and music whenever there is a 4, 6 out, whatever. And these are students who are studying right across the thing. But none of them find it interesting enough to complain and say, hey, we are being disturbed by this noise, why don't you stop it? And the teachers don't want to go and say, this is disturbing our students and me teaching, I want to stop it. But the stupidity of the whole thing is, what do you do commentary for? Who do you comment, when you do commentary, who is it for?
Audience.
Who are the audience? The audience are sitting there and watching. When you have commentary, cricket or tennis or anything, that commentary is not going to the people sitting in the stadium and watching. It's going on TV or radio for people who are not there, not for people who are sitting there. So the people playing know what they're doing. The people who are watching anyway. And this fellow is constantly shouting and saying, good shot or whatever rubbish. And I'm like, okay. So IIM students, when they'll wake up, I don't know to the pain point, but anyway. So we talked about this idea. How do you identify this pain point? It's pretty simple. Just go through whatever you are, observe what's happening in your life. And whenever you come across something and say, okay, this is something that I have and I'm facing as a problem, make a note. And out of all of those, pick one that you feel is the most, challenging, or the one that annoys you the most, that's making you feel bad the most. And start working on solving that problem. Then when it comes to your solution, you need to have a compelling solution statement. What does compelling mean?
Something that grabs attention.
Okay.
Convincing.
You're saying something that immediately makes people react to it in a positive way, in a way that makes you not pleasing, in a positive way. So, if I did what I told you just a minute ago, if I did that correctly, then I've made a compelling pitch, a compelling statement telling you, go talk to your director or somebody and get the noise problem fixed, or get the safety problem fixed, or whatever. And if it wasn't, then I did not make a compelling pitch to you saying that, hey, this is a problem, this is something that you should think about solving. Okay? So, you need to be able to tell people that this is how I am, solving this particular problem. There's a very interesting thing when you keep listening to people who are doing very well in their business lives, and how well they are able to articulate their problem in a way that people understand it very quickly and therefore grasp it. What is the problem that Swiggy and Zomato are solving?
Not having to put in the effort of going somewhere. Get food.
More concisely. What are Swiggy and Zomato solving?
They save our time and efforts.
They're solving your problem of time. You don't have time to cook, you don't have time to go out and eat, you don't have time to, spare for whatever. You don't have time to go and buy something on your own and bring it home. And they're basically making it easy for you, all of that, but they're solving your problem of time. There is one more that this person that I know, he runs this. It's a startup that they've translated into a community that he is building over a period of time. That he talks about when it comes to this idea of what are those the Slurpees, the milk, yogurt, what is that? The one that you take a long time to sip through your glass? Yeah, milkshakes. But there's one more, right? Similar to milkshakes. Thick shakes. Thank you. The thick shakes problem that the idea that they're looking at and they're trying to fix for you in terms of a thick shake is, if I do a milkshake, I finish it off very fast. Right? But a thick shake gives me the satisfaction that I got a lot of, I spend a lot of time having it, and if I'm driving, let's say, from one place to another, I'm able to, use this long period of time to continue to sip on it or whatever. So they're solving a problem which is different. It's not actually hunger. It's something that they give you the feeling that, they're giving you the feeling of satisfaction. So the other thing that you need to look at is now this solution that you are addressing for the stated problem, you need to be able to explain how it is solving that problem in a way that people say, yeah, this is a good solution for me. So there is alumni software that most organizations, most educational institutions in India do not take care of their alumni. And they don't have the right kind of alumni software that connects my software. And it also helps them connect. People are not able to help them connect. Most importantly, alumni software is expensive. If you want a lot of features, then you have to go with internet software and add the single course is unique. What is your USP? Unique solution. How is your solution unique? And this is not something that you can say, you can't say something that everybody else is providing. You have to come up with something that is really unique, but that uniqueness is not something, for example, you can use a software with your left hand. Yeah, fine, that's unique, but sorry, that's not useful to me. It needs to be something that's obviously relevant and useful to me. Any questions? Okay. So, for those of you who have a problem and a solution, go back to your problem and write down your problem statement and make sure that you have it clearly written. For those of you who are from IIM who don't have a problem statement, I would suggest that you pick, there are 12 of you, so probably 4 each, and come up with a problem and also come up with a problem statement and an appropriate solution, just so that you can work on it. There are 5 of you there, so 1 of you should go over here, come over here, and then it will be 4, 4 and 4. Otherwise you can sit quietly and watch while everybody else does their problem. Ask people. You have 5 minutes, finish in 5 minutes. If you're not able to communicate, you're not able to communicate like that, so get up, talk for 2 minutes and then come back, sit down and solve it. Does not same time. Okay, last minute, 1 minute. All right, so who's ready? Go ahead. Why don't you tell us what's your problem and the solution statement?
So all of us use vehicles, two-wheelers, four-wheelers, and we all go to petrol bunk to fill the petrol, right? During filling the petrol, there is lot of time wasted while waiting for making the payment through PhonePe or through cash. The agent, the person has to give you the change and all. So petrol bunk, there is, I think everyone must be aware that you are in lot of waiting time. You just want to fill the petrol and go away. So I have a solution for that. So I think if you have used cars using entering the toll gates, they have this RFID tag. So I want to put this RFID tag for all the vehicles entering the petrol bunks. So as soon as the vehicle enters the petrol bunk, this RFID reader will read the so be completely saving for the people. So that's what is my idea.
Question?
Not everyone wants to fill in the same amount of fuel in their cars. So
Yeah, how much amount you will tell, the agent will enter into that RFID reader and it will be deducted. So money will be deducted only through the RFID. So yeah.
So, like you are saying that while the payment process, we are consuming a lot of time, right? And the petrol pumps.
You just stick that RFID tag FASTag to your vehicle, and money will be automatically deducted how much amount you want from the tag, just like how you pay the toll tax.
Toll gate tax.
So I think I am saving time there.
There are also Wi-Fi debit cards such that it can also save time.
You need not put your hand into your pocket to take your phone or cash or ATM card, anything. Every transaction will be out of the FASTag ID only. So just go with your vehicle, get your petrol filled, and go out of the petrol bunk.
Okay, good, thank you. Next. Andhra University. You're next. Go ahead. You're next. After them. Go ahead. Ankshita. Start.
Our problem statement is about where we have a lack of structured platform to handle the alumni relations. There aren't any proper job portals or any engagement platforms or any donation portals. So, to enhance all of them, we're providing an all-in-one solution in form of robust platform to enhance alumni engagement. Like, we give them secure job portals along with, connectivity heat maps so that they can trace the localities and all. Yeah, for the donation segment. To expand on that, we have a chat portal, and alumni can connect based on their batches. So let's say we are the graduates of 2026. So all of us will be in one group, so to say, so we can connect with each other and also within the same domain of field that people have gone to after they graduate. And it's a streamlined and secure portal for donations, so that donations can be tracked and also, acknowledged. And family members of alumni can also donate to the institution.
That's a long solution. That's not appropriate. So what you need to do is you need to, first of all, there is a problem statement. There is no proper networking, proper donation, proper portal. What you mean to say is there is no integrated platform to provide all the services in one shot. So what your solution is, you are creating an integrated platform that offers all of this, and our unique selling proposition happens to be a heat map which gives the location of people, alumni, so that they can connect with one another in a secure manner. You can improve on this. I'm not saying what I said is great, but that would be better than what you have mentioned, because we're going on for a long time. Keep it short. You can add the features afterwards. Okay, next.
I think they have a problem with that. In the shops we don't have which bus coming and which bus coming. So I create a software that at sometime if we are going to somewhere and we can get exact information which buses are coming. It was already in trends, but there is no public software for the buses of road transportation, which can help the time management for the person who are going to a person, and they can also save money for the traveling.
Yeah.
So you want to put GPS in the bus?
Yes, sir. Exactly what I mean.
A few months back, my friend suggested we should look up
On the bus stop, due to the GPS we are connected to the bus, so we can get the information at what time you are going at a certain places, like if you are going to Mandipallu from some places. So if there are any buses near to you which come at the time where you are, so you can get. If you are not, you can search for another transport. You can save a time.
integrate all your.
Yeah.
Akash, you meant RTC buses or any other bus?
I think road public transportation. Because
Have you ever used Google Maps? In that we can find the location of buses where they are and what time they will.
it is as a
It's a for the local buses, but we've never seen it really perform the way it should be. So yeah, you can provide a better solution, that would be great. You need to make your solution a little bit more concise and clear, but otherwise we understand what your problem, what the problem that you started out with and what you're trying to provide as a solution. Good. Next.
So our problem is that firstly, every business person, not only business person, think that our solution is to have a NFC visiting cards, in which you get a fiber visiting card or a metal visiting card, in which there is an NFC chip. And for because most of the people use Android phones, and the phones that are launched right now in this generation, every phone has an NFC feature. So you just have to tap your visiting card on the phone, and all your information, your contact details will be saved in the phone as well. You don't even have to worry that the opposite person will save your number in his device or not.
See, for example, like as you mentioned that that feature has like you have that featured visiting card like with you. Like what if that visiting card will be tapped on my phone? Like
Only
your
if-
information will be displayed on my phone also, right?
Let's say you have a paper visiting card, there is a high chance that you will even lose that card as well. So your details will be anyways going for other people as well. So the people who you don't want your details to be, even they can have it through the paper visiting card. So there's not much difference of having the digital visiting card or a paper visiting card.
Like this. But for my perception, I will take as a person, Bhagiti Barber. I say that to remember my name, not to remember the vendor. There comes the problem now. Your visiting card will be totally upon your business name.
Okay.
So I would be, if your name is Habib, I want to save it as Habib Techie, if you're having a tech business. And if your business name comes there, people get confused with that.
You'll always have an option to edit your contact when you're directly saving it.
Then what's the moment of it's getting automatically saved when we have to edit it anywhere later?
It's just an extra effort. So basically the idea of having the knee card is, NFC card is, you don't have to refill it again.
Okay.
It's a one-time investment, and it's also eco-friendly. That is the idea. The software inside it, you can develop it based on your convenience.
Yeah, that's it.
There
That's
are
it.
My question is, you know how for the tap and go debit cards, if it gets stolen, then your limit or your 2000 limit is almost stolen because it can directly, be paid.
Yeah.
So what happens when someone you don't exactly want handling this card gets your card?
Give your paper cards to-
Exactly the point.
Basically give it. Yeah.
Even with the paper visiting card,
Right.
there is always a chance that you can lose your card somewhere.
Yes, exactly.
And there's not much use of anyone stealing your identity. Right?
No, it's more in the case of safety.
Second, let me stop this because the NFC cards are already available. There are lots and lots of them. All you have to do is search for NFC visiting cards and you'll find like, I don't know, I mean a year ago there were like 40 companies. Right now there are probably going to be hundreds of them in India. So what they've come up with is nothing unique. The question that you should ask, which is even better, is why even buy that card? You carry your phone anyway. So why not do the NFC from one phone to another? Which is what 10 years ago, 14 years ago, an app called Bob. Basically, and you and automatically stuff got transferred, your card, your details got transferred to the other phone just based on that bond. iPhones had it and then a few Android phones had it. Anyway, so the idea here is not to come up with something that's earth shattering. The idea is to look at a problem and more importantly word it properly. So the last team.
Sir, actually our problem statement is leisure time of Gen Z during availing any service. So our solution for that is encashing the leisure time with alternative services. For example, if we take a fuel.
What services do you mean?
If we take schedule of a young guy like me,
You go to a barber shop,
yeah.
Okay.
In the meanwhile, I can get my bike serviced,
okay?
or I can get any other stuff there.
How do you plan to do that?
So we will create a service in a particular place. Actually, this is an existing business in Bhubaneswar.
Okay.
So my ideology is from there. They have every service business in a particular complex. So there people come for a single step and they catch many stuff there.
So you have a mini mall in all of these places.
Mini service mall.
Okay. Okay, good. So let's move on. Once you have the problem and the solution, the next thing that you need to look at is the market opportunity and the product. Size and the growth potential. What is the current market size and what is the growth potential, so that you can come up with numbers that are convincing to your investors or the audience members who might be looking at seeing how they can partner with you. By the way, there are other things that there's one more thing that I forgot to mention in terms of partnerships. When she mentioned the idea of partnerships, I talked about people coming on board as co-founders, but you also have somebody, for example, so let me go partner with you. I'll give you space in my store. In all these chain stores, I'll give you space. Why don't you put your products in my store and we'll work out a deal, commission and other things. So there is that also that you could potentially be selling to or attracting when you are giving your presentation, your pitch. So when you talk about researching of this market size, there are these terms called TAM, SAM and SOM. So TAM stands for Total Addressable Market. Total Market. What is the, if I was able to sell to everybody, then what will that number be? Okay? And SAM stands for Serviceable Addressable Market. Thank you. So useful to have it here. Serviceable Addressable Market. I could sell to everybody in the whole wide world, right? I could do the service mini mall everywhere in the world, but I know that first I have to get some in India. So my service addressable market right now, things that I am doing here, probably India specific. So this is what I'm going to do. And that will be a smaller number. And then home means serviceable, obtainable market. Good, Kavya, good. What is serviceable, obtainable market, Kavya?
Out of all the options that you have, what can you actually achieve?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Like real time, like how much can you get?
Sorry, I didn't understand. What is real time?
Like instead of just assumptions, like what's
No, you do a lot of research, but SOM is something that is a projection. I don't think it's an exact number. Your SOM usually comes from your SAM. I can do this all over India. But in that, what do you think I can actually capture myself? I can sell cell phones to everybody in this room. But there are people who want a particular set of features, and therefore I will only be able to sell it to them. and of that, how many people can I really sell to? That's my number. So what people do is generally they take SAM and then say, okay, at least 10% of SAM is my SOM. You should not be doing that, saying that or some random number at that, but you should try and make an educated guess from different ways that you can do. There are methods in which you can calculate this. We talked about this when we were talking about the market opportunity and go to market and other things that we talked about, in a business model in that workshop in a lot more detail. I can't go over it now, but this is something that can be addressed. I'll try to give you a worksheet to work on so that you'll be able to come up with some numbers for this. Okay? So, the other thing that you need to look at is what are the market trends and what growth potential. Right? Obviously, you would know. These are things that you keep in touch with, and you have an eye out for that. So foldables are the next big market trend. The potential, the prediction is that foldable phones are going to become, quite relevant, and they're going to become quite common pretty soon. We didn't. But the flip type had a different thing altogether.
Bottom to top. Now it is just foldable.
Yeah, you can also do bottom to top, which is.
When you had a keypad for this new generation phones, it's completely touchscreen.
And the second thing is the flip phone that you're talking about, the screen size is limited. This one, the double one, as you open it, the screen is actually double. Unless the light is in a particular direction, you don't even see the gap in the middle. So you can actually watch it like use it like a tablet or a mini laptop. Okay? So, and then what is the growth potential? The thing is that, we already know what is the market like for cell phones and smartphones in India. Earlier it was smartphones where people who had a lot of money had that. Then people who were students started spending money on it. Then you have people who are changing smartphones every 6 months because a new model has come out. And then, now you have anybody and everybody who seems to have a smartphone. Very rarely do you find somebody who is a security person or an auto rickshaw driver who has a regular feature phone. They now have a smartphone and they constantly on YouTube or Instagram or something like that. Knowing that will happen, we can predict what's going to happen with this flip phone when it comes to the market trends and the growth potential. And the big thing for you to do is basically you need to be able to show these in graphs. How do you show growth in terms of something that is going to grow exponentially? Graphs growing exponentially, therefore what kind of a graph? Yeah, simple line graph is enough. I'm starting at 10 units now, but 1 year from now I will be selling 10 million units. Just a simple line graph. Otherwise, year on year growth. This year I'm making this much, next year I'm making this much, the next year I'm making this much. So bar graph. So you should be able to show that. Or you say right now my market share is 2% of the entire market. Pie chart. And then next, in 3 years from now, I'm planning to grow to 15% of the entire market. And the pie size might be growing, but your 15% is a huge number by itself, from 2 to 15. So those kinds of things that you can show. You can put it in when you're diagram. And 3% of the market, and you have 6 people images, small icons, and then you say, I have 60% of the market. Some creative way of showing the information in a way that it's visually appealing and easily understandable. Any questions? Okay, now it comes to your what is my unique value proposition? What are the key features and key product or service? Really good pictures, good quality pictures of your product or service that highlights what these features are like. What exactly are the things that your product can do? Since we were talking about foldable phones, if you are able to show a phone that's folded and lying on the side and show the thickness, and it's not half kg, and it's not 3 inches thick, and it's very thin, you are able to convey something right there. Then you show a picture with the opened up service. You're not, everybody is going to say, well, they had it. He just talked about a, NFC card. I said it's already available. What is so unique about it? How do you go and say this is unique? I am going to say this can be 3D printed in your own house, and I can provide you with a design that nobody else can do. Right? And your NFC card is going to be a keychain. And you carry your keychain with you, and so you'll never ever leave your house without a keychain. One more. And you see all of these people who do unboxing videos, and so many people, the companies actually pay these people to do unboxing videos. So similar to that, if you're able to show videos, you're able to show screenshots. But most importantly, if you're able to show a demo, that would be the highlight of whatever you're trying to accomplish. One of the things that we had with this year, we had a program in our TAI organization for young entrepreneurs. High school students from 9th to 12th grade, they were able to come and say, this is something that we are producing this is what we want to do. And they're talking about exotic ingredients that are going to be shipped to your home, fresh to your home, that you cannot get in tier 2 and tier 3 cities because they're only available in tier 1 cities. Silence. He'll actually boba tea and jappesi, he chases. So they took the boba pearls, basically tapioca. Apparently they call it boba pearls now. Here's what they did. This particular kind that they are claiming is apparently not easily available for them. And the other thing that they happen to mention is that these are fresh ingredients that you're going to get in only the quantity that you want. Not half kg, not 1 kg, and all of those ingredients together to form a dish, kind of like make it home thing. But the interesting thing that they did is they basically came and said, they had a kit. They made a box. They opened the box and showed it to the judges this is the box, this is how the ingredients are. And then they said, okay, while the judges are watching that, we have samples. And they got samples of the tea and they said, pass it on to the judges to try. And the judges were having that and saying, good, nice, tasty, and all of that. That's what you need to do, especially if you have a product. That's what is going to, that's what you should do to get people to understand that I am different from somebody else in this way. Okay? This is especially true for you right now, for this evening. So, if you are able to demonstrate that, and that is why, again, I want to take you back to, what most people connect with, Shark Tank. Many of the Shark Tank episodes that you see, they come up with, I have these clothes that are really good, and they pass on a sample of that shirt, t-shirt, hoodie, whatever it is. I have this tea, they pass on the tea. I have this wonderful noodles that I make, they pass on the noodles. And the guys are sitting there eating samples. Even though they're dieting and other things, but over there they're happy to try those samples. Sandwiches, burgers, whatever they can give, they pass on samples, including alcohol that they passed on because it's not as taboo in the US as it is over here. So, here is something that you need to look at in terms of your market size and your differentiation. So, some of you had already done the homework, but others who had not done this, we'll quickly do this only for about 2 minutes. I want you to quickly tell me, what do you think is your, TAM, SAM and so on, for whatever you have mentioned. Okay? What is your total addressable market? Let's take, rather than you doing it, let's go each one. You talk software. You sell it. Who can use it?
The institutions are
Which institution?
the ones that are buying the software. Any university.
Exactly. Any university or college that can, that wants alumni, something that they have alumni, they're going to use it. Now, how many institutions are there all over the world? Because this is something that can be used anywhere. And then you say, okay, first let me concentrate on India. And therefore, I'm going to look at that. Right? And then, what is the obtainable market? What can I look at from within this? Based on the sales team that I have, based on the marketing energy that I have, based on the connections that I have, my positive but not realistic project. MNC business cards. Everybody in the world uses business cards. Quite a few people have, some people have stopped using it, but many people still continue. And they keep doing this, here is my card. Now, your total addressable market is huge. But then your SAM is going to be smaller because there are a lot of people who have moved on and they're saying, okay, just like you're thinking green, I don't want to print so many cards. They're moving on to something else, right? And then you come up with your, okay, of this, how many people can I actually sell this to? And remember, you can sell this online. There is no necessity for somebody to come to you. Okay? In terms of the software that you are creating, the parts that you are providing, the solution that you are providing, what stops you from doing this all across the world? Wherever there is technology that's available and you can easily quickly deploy RFID kind of thing, it's something that you can do. The TAM is going to be quite high. Maybe not worldwide, because there are quite a few countries that are not technologically advanced, but quite a few that are. And then you come up with your SAM and so on. Yours? What was that? So if Odisha is doing it, so why not we copy from there and get it done over here? And if we do it here, why not expand it to all of the place? There is something called first mover advantage. There is something called first mover advantage. Anybody who comes up with something which is new and a new idea, they usually are able to get the things out faster to people, and therefore a lot more people capture the market, and after that other people that are there are unable to catch up. They're only trying to catch up. Examples?
Maggie.
Okay. Even before that, something that everybody, one god that everybody prays to. You go only to, that's multiple gods. I'm saying one god that everybody goes to. One god that everybody goes to. Coca-Cola. I don't drink Coca, Pepsi normally. You may forget God, but you won't forget this.
Mobile service center.
Google.
So why do people go and use Google? There are two reasons why people use Google. The single biggest one happens to be one that they, it's fast and it gives me the results that I want. But the big thing is it had a first mover advantage. When everybody else was doing Yahoo, was doing directories and you need to click on this and then go here and then go here and all of that. Google just had one search bar, you enter whatever you want and you get the information. 1 million, 2 million answers, right? And now ChatGPT came. Everybody knows ChatGPT. There are many others that are really good, but everybody goes to ChatGPT because that's the one that you know, and therefore you say okay. So there is a first mover advantage. Many times that's a good advantage to have. But if you're not the first mover, that's okay. There are others who do better, it depends on how well you sell. So there is something else that I want to point out. There is I don't know how many of you, I think at least some of you had faced it, used it, or at least, seen it and touched it after you were born. Interesting thing, another kind of tape that came out with better quality than VHS tapes. Suddenly I forgot, sorry, but I'll tell you. And even though that's better quality, and that's something that would have been even better than what VHS tapes were, people ended up, VHS became popular. And these people were not able to market their product as well as these guys. So therefore they ended up getting the market share. Microsoft, their software was generally pretty horrible. Sorry for saying that. People in India don't want me to say anything about Bill Gates, but it was horrible software compared to where it is now. And Microsoft almost never built anything on its own. It was always buying other things. First thing that Microsoft came up with was MS-DOS. They bought DOS, disk operating system from IBM, and they put MS in front of it, Microsoft, and they sold it as Microsoft MS-DOS, and they said this is an operating system. but it was not an operating system. As a matter of fact, until very recently, I'm guessing it changed into an operating system, but it was more of a operating system allows you to do things, simultaneously. Computer science students, right? Unix is an operating system.
I mean, MS-DOS doesn't have a GUI.
Did not have a GUI, it came better, but actually the back end of it is even worse. The back end, if you started one window, the rest of the things that you were doing would slow down or would not work. You could not do things in parallel. And Unix allows you to do. Or your property. And that is where your business model comes into the picture. What are the key components of a business model? Strong business model?
Problem, solution, key metrics, the
Customers
USPs,
and-
customer segment, cost structure, revenue.
Targets ఉండాలి.
She said 7. Where are the other 2? So in this idea called lean, canvas, there are all these. There's a matrix that is available, and in that matrix you have in the top left corner an idea of a problem, where you quickly identify what is the problem that you're solving, and your solution, and then what is your USP of your solution. And then what are your features of the solution?
I totally forgot.
Right? And then you have channels. How am I going to sell this? Through digital marketing, through retail stores, through wholesalers, through distributors, or through e-commerce platforms. I will sell this on my website. Go on. You have these metrics. So what are the things I need to keep running my company and running the startup? And then I'm going to have my cost structure. What are all my costs to make the product, to create the service, to run the company? And what are the ways that I'm going to get revenue? How am I going to get my money? Okay, and one other. Did I miss anything? Okay, so we're going to talk about different revenue models and picking up the right revenue model for you. What are revenue models? What could be revenue models? You heard of B2B and B2C? So they could be that. If you're doing, then you have SaaS as a revenue model, meaning subscriptions. And for example, you have, that's something that they tried in a Manumaniam Producers, which is a SaaS model. Every month you pay 3,000 rupees. 2,000 rupees? 3,000 rupees? 25. Every month you pay 2,500 rupees. And once a week you get fresh, farm grown organic vegetables delivered to your home. This was during the peak COVID time. Subscription model. And subscription models are fantastic.
Sir, can you repeat what is that? If you pay 2,500 every month, they will supply vegetables.
Fresh vegetables, a set of 10 vegetables
Right.
sitting.
It's in Vizag.
నేను
It
చేశాను.
was in Vizag.
Is it still running?
అబ్ని ఆర్గానిక్ స్టార్ట్ చేశాక అది ఇందులో వర్క్ చేస్తుంది. సో నాట్ సెండింగ్ ఇట్ హోమ్ డెలివరీ. కస్టమర్స్ కమ్ అండ్ పిక్ ఇట్ అప్.
Okay.
You tell them more?
About organic farms.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, during COVID, everyone was searching for safe food, especially leafy vegetables and vegetables. Safety ఏంటి అన్నది ఎవరికి తెలియదు. Everyone was trying to dip it into baking soda, salt, whatnot, everything. So I thought, okay, let me just start doing farming for them. Whoever is interested, they'll pay 2,500 per month ahead for 3 months. 3 months ఒకసారి పే చేయాలి సబ్స్క్రిప్షన్ మోడల్లో. సో వాళ్ళకి ఎవ్రీ వీక్ farmers will be growing their behalf. Visit, they can spend with their children to play and process. They will get every week of vegetables, 12 vegetables up to 8 kgs
Okay.
per week. So which works out like 530 rupees per week
Okay.
cost. And they'll get nutritious vegetables, natural farm vegetables, freshly delivered to their house.
Okay. So now that is not there.
And because of the
COVID finish.
COVID finish and కాదు, I can still run it, but ఇప్పుడు అగ్ని ఆర్గానిక్స్ లో ఇంకా పనులు ఎక్కువైపోయినాయి. అదేంటంటే every customer has to be have their మాకు ఈ
Realization.
అదే కాదు. కొంతమంది ఆనకే తింటారు, బీరకాయ తింటారు. సో వాళ్ళ చాయిస్ ఈ వారం మాకు ఆనకే పంపండి, నెక్స్ట్ వీక్ బీరకాయ పంపండి అంటారు. ఎవ్రీ వీక్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టు కీప్ ట్యాబ్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ దోస్ కస్టమర్స్. సో సింగిల్ హ్యాండెడ్లీ ఐ యూస్ టు డూ దట్. బట్ ఈ బిజినెస్ స్టార్ట్ చేసిన తర్వాత అది కష్టం అయిపోయిందని వెజిటబుల్స్ ఇందులో మర్జ్ చేస్తాం. సో వాట్ ఎవర్ దే ఆర్ గ్రోయింగ్ ప్లస్ the farm that I took on lease, it was given for development. So there is no farm.
So your alumni software obviously is going to be more of a subscription model. Using it in your content, right? You have a challenge. Once I give the card, you don't need to put the card and come back to me ever in your entire life unless you lose the card and somebody takes it, and what if they misuse it and all of that, right? So one time, so even if I sell the card for 300 rupees and I cover everybody in the whole country through this, one time I'll make money, but after that I'm not going to make any more money. So how do I make sure that this is something that I can avoid and I can do something? And second, you also have the challenge of technology. What if the technology changes? NFC is replaced by something else. You can't go and say I'll sell NFC cards, but there's no NFC anymore. Okay? So but then if you're able to figure out how to do a subscription, I'll send a new 3 months with a new design, with a different color, texture, something, so that you have all of these that you keep cycling through, so that it doesn't look the same every time you hang out. Something like that. Subscription models are great because you can get people to continuously keep giving you money rather than a one-time purchase. But that's something that you need to look at. Then another model that they are following, they have 5 stores, but only 4 of them are run by them. Fine.
Yeah, 4 stores are in Visakhapatnam, so we run by, we oversee operations there. But we gave, we supply all our groceries and everything to them. They will be doing the business. So it's like B2B.
Franchise.
Yeah.
Which is what a lot of KFC, McDonald's, and all those things that are there.
But subscription model is the best, I think. Customers used to pay us 1 year and
Yeah. There is a reason why I keep telling you that we are very interested. We are very So, when you talk about your key metrics, how much money am I making every month? How much money am I making every year? How much is it costing me? What is the cost of my product? What is the cost of my service? How many people are coming to my social media accounts and how many am I converting from a visitor to a customer, a buyer? Right? There are things called footfall. Footfalls as much as possible, close to 100% into buying customers. Similarly, you have lots of people who do digital marketing and say, I'll get you so many visitors. What will visitors do? They'll just come visit and go away. I need people who will actually buy. So those are metrics that you need to look at. Also, there are a lot of metrics. I'm not good at finance. I have to improve on that. So I won't tell you a lot more about that. There are people who've taken care of this during the financial analysis, financial workshop that we had done. But those are things that you can look at. And the really important thing is, when you're starting, you're going to start, let's say, a factory, or let's say a software. It's going to cost you 30 lakhs. But one person's salary expectation is 30 lakhs. And 30 lakhs for 3 months. So how do I show that I have 6 people in my team, each person is going to get 30 lakhs. My cost is 1.8 crores, but I will sell the software for 50,000. Right? 1.8 crores means 1800 lakhs. And 1800 lakhs divided by 50,000, half a lakh, I will take 3,600 clients before I break even. I need to be able to show a path that says if I get so many clients, I'll be able to do my break even and then cross the break even. What is break even? Break. Is that point? Why does that point even come?
I'm not so sure about it.
In the exam also you are going to help her like this and ask her to write the exam. When does the point come? Go ahead, Rasagna.
And the cost and the money spent on creating the organization equals the revenue of the business.
Agree. But when does that point come? How does that point come about?
When the revenue picks up.
Good. But what about this cost?
The initial costs, they all go down, which is like infrastructure. All of those, they go down at the and the revenue generated right.
At a point where whatever money you spent and what or spending and whatever money you are getting are even out. That's where your break-even point is, and people want to know where your break-even point is. Is it 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Because beyond that point, then they know, okay, it's generally profitable. Once you break even, it's assumed that your company is going to do well and you'll never have fall below your revenue will not fall below your expenditure. But that will happen. If that happens, maybe your company will not survive. That's one thing that you need to keep track of. But you are telling them that, right? And by the way, except for now, Zomato has turned profitable. Lot of large companies, all of them, they have not been profitable. Their valuation keeps going up into billions of dollars, but they have not turned profitable. But yet people are willing to invest in them. Why?
In future, somebody
How
will
are they
acquire
getting
it.
that market potential?
In future, somebody will acquire it.
No, not just that.
Scope is good.
How do they know? How do they know that the scope is there for this company?
That product demand is there for the product, supply or else the company ends, then it does not reach the customer's product. So the investors will invest in that, right?
If you that I'm growing customers exponentially, I'm keeping on growing my customers, then is that at some point of time you'll turn profitable. So therefore they'll keep investing in you because they believe that that's how they do the valuation. There are other people who don't believe in that kind of valuation. Because if you're not, I mean it's 10 years, you're still not making a profit, do I really want to trust you if you're making losses? But there are people who believe in it and say no, at some point of time they will be profitable. It's kind of like real estate. There'll be one more bakra after me who's going to buy at a higher value than me, so yeah, land value. So that's where you identify all your customer acquisition channels. We talked about channels, right? The list that you already have. So you look at those channels. So you will have retail stores. You will actually go and take space in other stores, and or you'll have a shopping cart. Sorry, you'll have a push cart where you're going to sell things using that cart, or you're going to be setting up something in a mall. You're going to do e-commerce. Everything is online. You're going to do B2B. I'll only sell to other businesses, and those businesses in turn let them do what they want. All of those things. And you need to, whatever you're doing, you need to be able to clearly let people know that I've thought about this, I've done my research, and I have a clear model to scale. I have a clear way to grow this organization. For example, again going back to let's say Ola and Uber and so on, when they talk about these taxis and autos and things like that, remember that they've also copied from, Ola obviously picked up things from Uber. And then they took that and then they said they picked up things from Rapido, two-wheeler rides. And they're able to do all of these things. Now, they are going and saying, this is how, to the investors, okay, I'm introducing autos, I'm introducing two-wheelers, so my market is going to explode. Now I can even go to tier 3 and tier 4. Of that is what you're going to show people. And the really important thing for you to do is for you to be able to show what is called as traction. What is called as traction and or early adopters. What is traction? It comes from this idea that when you're driving on an icy patch, water-laden patch, snow, other things, your wheels are going to keep turning and there's no traction, right? But at some point of time, the wheels will grip the road and then you'll be able to move forward. That traction is coming from that, background. So traction is
An idea that will stick. Literally an idea that will stick with people.
how does it happen? When you say it has clicked with people,
It's
what?
solving their problems.
The information
available in the
market about.
How do you show that success?
When people start using it.
They
Alpha users.
by their group, they do profits damaging
Your first customer, your second customer, your third customer, somebody who is willing to pay money to buy your product or service, that is traction. If you're able to show that I sold it to 100 people, that is traction. If you're able to show that you sold it to 1,000 people, that is traction. Early adopters. Somebody went and bought the foldable phone and they're willing to spend 1,25,000 or 1.5 lakhs for a foldable phone. They're adopters, which they are willing because of various reasons. I just like new technology. I want to show off, whatever, right? But you are showing that there are people who are willing to pay money for your product or service. My alumni software is something that somebody is willing to take from us, and yes, I'm giving it for free for them for 3 months, but after that they are going to pay me this much money, and therefore I am following. By the way, that is another model for finance, premium. Yeah. $10 lakhs first year, we made 50 lakhs in the second year, and now in the third year we are at 1.1 crores. You are showing people that this is hard cash that's available and this is something that so many people are buying from.
So we just have to show the numbers that we made, it's not the profit that we made.
No, they'll ask you for a profit or something. They don't want you to get into losses, but then if you're able to show that, as we become more efficient, our profits are expected to increase from 6% to 12% and 12% to something, I'm sure. that's wonderful, but not going to work is what some people are going to say. Right? Again, the Ola Uber market versus the, some markets where people say, I will only give banks. If you're profitable, then I'll give you money. If you're not profitable, why will I give you money? Unless you're borrowing 10,000 crores, then they'll give you money. Got it? What is traction?
Show paying customers.
Basically, you should show paying customers. What Thiru just said. Excellent. Simple sentence. Show that you have paying customers. NFC cards, wonderful idea. Show me one customer who's bought it. Show me 3, show me 5, whatever number you have. Then I'm saying, oh yeah, okay, this person. Because having a good product by itself is not enough. You need to know how to sell it. You might have the best product, but if you don't know how to sell it, it's pointless. There are lots and lots of examples of companies where they have had beautiful products, but nobody actually bought them. One of the best companies that was their R&D, and therefore their oh, should not have had that. There is this company called Xerox. All of you know of Xerox copies. Xerox was one of the pioneers in terms of the photocopiers. But what you don't know is what you see and use as Windows. Different Windows on your Apple and your Microsoft operating system. All those Windows, the idea of Windows came up in Xerox. Xerox had this wonderful GUI monitor, things like long, I think maybe this is not 100%, but Apple, basically the Windows things that are there, Microsoft and Apple, they copied it from Xerox. They got it from Xerox.
Even the mouse, that also.
Xerox is wonderful with coming up with products. The unfortunate thing is they never knew how to sell them properly. And other people knew how to sell it and they sold it. Why that? IBM. IBM is now I think about 120-year-old, 120 plus company, at least 110 plus years old. About 20 years ago, IBM was going to go bankrupt. IBM, one of the largest, was targeting no one, I think, not know how to make games and sell it. Then Lou Krishner came around and he kind of fixed things and turned things around. And they started doing consulting and they started doing other things, and therefore they are able to develop. But it doesn't matter if you're a company that's existing for so long. If you don't innovate, you're going to die. Your Google is afraid of dying now because of all these ChatGPT and others that have come in. And therefore they're doing Gemini and whatever. So you need to be understanding that part. So, taking your examples that you have, some of you have already done this before, but others can do this while we do the lunch break. Give me a couple of lunches here, we should just get it here. Either before or during or maybe after you finish your lunch, you can work on your business model. Knowing what you have, I'll try to put up, for those of you who don't know about the lean canvas, I'll try to put up a graphic for the lean canvas so that you're aware of that, and therefore you can use that for creating it for the particular ideas that you have. Okay? And we will quickly discuss that, and then we'll go on after the lunch break at 2 o'clock again. We'll get started. Percent 20, 25, 30 is what money. Otherwise, it's more of a, I want a stake in your company. I know you'll grow, but I don't know when, so I'm going to ask for a lot more return. Okay? So that's what you're going to look at. What is the potential return that you can promise somebody in exchange for them giving you money? You give me 10 lakhs, and after 1 year I will start paying you interest at this rate, and I will return your money to you at the end of this time. There are other places where you also do something called a royalty. Anytime I make a card, an NFC card, I sell that, the investor gets until the investor % of whatever he or she 1 lakh, until I get 1 lakh, until you sell 1 lakh cards, you have to pay me 1 rupee for every card you sell. After that, that money you don't need to pay me, because you're paying me interest, or you gave me a stake in the company. Or you're going to say, no, I don't need any stake in your company at all. Just pay me until I get double my money. 1 rupee per sale. And after that, I'll disappear. You don't have to owe me anything. You can do structures, different structures that way. Okay? Any questions? So, you can do projections like very better. Take one and pass on the next. Take one and pass on the next. Five different, I believe, different kinds of companies and how you can calculate the TAM, SAM and so on. So use this to understand a little bit more about those numbers and how do you arrive at it. Don't go with what I said in the morning completely, because I am not, as I told you already, not a good finance person and a marketing person, but so I may have given you not so accurate information. This is more accurate. So what I would like you to do for this exercise, while you're going through that sheet, but for this exercise, is that assume that you are building a particular product or service. Okay. For building that particular product or service, how much money will it cost you to be ready to start selling? Okay. And how much are you willing to sell it for? Or how much are you already selling it for? And once you have that, then you say, for this, I need this much money. And this much money that I will need to use to be able to build that many products or provide service to that many people. And therefore, if you give me this money, I will use that money and I will give you this much money back, or you can expect this much money back after 3 years or 5 years. Right? That is a projection that I want you to come up with. So try, if you can, think about your particular solution in a manner and do a projection.
pages order lo levu. First, second, then third and fourth.
Yeah.
Okay. Done? Go ahead, Kankshita and Kavya. You're the only ones who get to talk now.
So like last time you said we took the same example of 24 lakhs and
Yeah.
giving it,
Yeah.
selling it. Then we took a time period of 5 years and like you said 1 lakh per person, so we are team of 6 and we could develop it in the span of 3 to 5 months.
Okay.
So like taking 5 lakhs as buffer and 6 lakhs as the salary per head, and then like some miscellaneous costs for the the rental provision and everything. So it came up to a 24 lakhs, like
Oh.
where we sell it out.
Oh.
6 lakhs for us,
Ah.
5 to 6 lakhs into 3 months.
Yeah,
3 months.
that's 18 lakhs.
And then we took 3 lakhs for buffer.
That's all.
Yeah, we did not take it.
There is no other expenditure than your salary. How would you not have other expenditure? No, initially you won't have advertisement cost, but during development you have to have, where is your hardware coming from, your laptops? Where is your cloud service coming from?
4 lakhs for the development.
Huh?
So we just took the smaller numbers.
18 lakhs for 3 months, but you said it's actually going to take 5 months also to make the software. So 5 times 6 is 30 lakhs.
I mean, that, right.
Take only charge 3 months. 2 months after 3 months you won't take salary. So the reason why I'm asking, rather than just telling you, I told you right why I don't tell you and instead make you do the thinking. You need to look at additional costs. For example, if I need to sit in AHA and work out of AHA, there's a cost involved. Right? Even if it's 3,000 rupees per month per person, 6 times that means that 20,000 rupees right there, that's going. Then you're going to have some kind of taxes that I have to pay, or I have to get food or I have to get snacks. Let's say another 10,000 rupees goes there. But what about the hardware? Where everybody has a laptop, everybody has the software that you need to use to develop, or are they going to use it separately?
Do we have to give them accounts?
Aziz only, no. So we already have laptops, no. So you want, we'll just use those only, is what she's saying. Where did that come from? Your father and mother's money. And you're okay with the company using your father's and mother's money? You're not, right? So the capital expense involved. Let's say, okay, the 3 of you who are going to use your own laptops, the other 3 who won't. And so let's say 60,000 per laptop. Maybe 1 lakh, but rich people like Kavya and Rasanya, but 60,000 for everybody. That's 1.8 lakhs. So let's say about 2 lakhs over there. Okay? And 5 months, 30 lakhs. 30 plus 2 plus additional cost, another 4. So altogether you're talking about 36 lakhs. Not 24 lakhs. That's for 5 months. Now tell me, now that it's 36 months, 5 years, Entire thing changed. Okay.
Entire
Fine. Okay. You tell me your stuff. Still calculating. What about you? You're also calculating?
Sir, 1.8 million, sir.
Okay. No. Just give me an outline.
Sir, actually, as I mentioned, it is only in Vizag only. So according to the data I took from internet, we are having 18 lakhs of Gen Z in Vizag, from which we have approximately 20% of youth for a particular area because people won't travel long for service. So after that, 25% of 18 lakhs came nearly to 3.6. That
25%. Four point five. 4.5. Four point five times 200 rupees. No. 4.5 lakhs times 200 rupees. 4.5 lakhs is 450,000. Okay? 2 times 450,000 is 900,000.
yes.
900,000, times 200, so 9 crores. So 9 crores is your financial projection that you're going to make.
In coming 3 years.
Yeah, that's what you're planning to make, and therefore you're going to ask a certain amount of that money to get started. Arma, do you have the updated numbers? Okay. So, we don't need to do this right now. You have an idea of what I'm telling you and how you want to go about doing the calculation. Okay, all those things put together will go into your slides, into your pitch deck. Okay, now I want to cover quickly because I would like to end in about 1 hour. I want to cover this idea of pitch delivery techniques. What are some techniques that you can use for delivering your pitches? And one very important thing that is necessary for you to talk about whenever you do a pitch, a presentation, a talk, is tell a story. Right? Tell a story. For example, your story is both of you, especially yours, is the most effective in my view, in the sense that people immediately understand what you're talking about. Others are saying, okay, you're being bland and you're saying, this is something that is happening and this is something that I'd like to do. Right? But instead, if you tell a story, I was going to college, or I was trying to go home from college, and I got out of my IIM building, and there is a bus shelter, but no buses seem to stop at the bus shelter. And they seem to always be stopping somewhere else. So I decided to go to where they stopped, and it turns out that I have no idea when they're going to come, when they're going to go, and nobody seems to know when. Benefiting from it. Wouldn't it be great if I could predict that the bus is going to be 10 minutes away, 5 minutes away, 15 minutes away, so I can plan my stay and save my time or something like that. Right? Similar to, every time I go for a haircut, I realize that I'm waiting for my turn for the haircutter, the barber to cut my hair. Until then, I have to wait. But I have to and I found a Maheshwar. I studied it and found out that this is what can happen. And I've improved on it. And this is what I'm going to present to you now. Right? I've had a chance when people come to me to IIM to give a guest lecture. One of the things that I'd love to do is I'm impressed with them and I go up to them and say, "Sir, ma'am, can I have your card?" And they say, "Sorry, I ran out of cards. You may make a note of my number or I'll share the thing with your staff and they'll give it to you," and all of that. What right? You start building stories that way, where you are putting yourself in that, or you're putting a friend in that. There are these alumni from Andhra University. The CEO of AHUB and the incubation manager of AHUB are alumni of Andhra University. But they don't have a direct connection with any of the other alumni other than their own connections. They don't know how to contribute to the university. They don't know easily donate, and it's as simple as using WhatsApp or something else. We are creating that solution. We are developing that, and we are making sure that it's an integrated platform where everything flows smoothly and people can, they would love to come and visit every day to kind of connect with whoever they can. You need to start, or you need to have a story that connects, that people are willing to say, "Oh, this is interesting, let me listen to this for a little while longer," on how things got started. In terms of Ujjwal, one of the Andhra University students from here, mechanical engineering, he has his own story in terms of how he got started with Interview Buddy. When he was in college, campus recruitment was happening. He went to the interview, and for some reason the interviewer liked him, and he said, "Come, sit next to me while I take other interviews." So Ujjwal sat and observed what's going on, and he found out that his brightest friends, people who he thought were toppers and really good, were shivering, were unable to answer even a single question. That's when it struck him. What if I can give people interview practice? What if I can connect with HR people who know how to take and give interviews, and therefore they can, I can benefit all my fellow students as well as my juniors. And that's how he came and approached me. And we connected, we talked, we realized that this is a great idea. It's very simple, nothing really complicated, just connecting people with this and that. An interviewer who has experience and a candidate who's looking for interview experience, and that's how Interview Buddy came into being. When you give a story, it helps a lot in getting the point across and making people listen. And more importantly, they won't forget, because it's a story. Rather than Interview Buddy has so many customers, so many clients, so many this. My alumni software has this feature, that feature, this feature, that feature. Storytelling. Okay? Then we'll talk about a few techniques for effective public speaking. I'll cover that. Public speaking by itself is an entire topic that we usually take about, at least in one of the CA institutes, we take about 6 hours, 3 hours and 3 hours in separate days to cover that with practical examples. So I won't really be able to cover everything in a few minutes, but I'll see what best I can do in terms of the time that's available. The single biggest thing that you can do in terms of public speaking is making eye contact. If you're able to make eye contact with everybody in the audience, they will feel like to them. And when they feel you're talking to them, they want to pay attention. That's your part of the story, your idea, or your share your knowledge. And they're listening to you because they feel that you are having a direct connection with them. In, as opposed to a situation where I am only talking to the people who are close to me and happily concentrating on them, and after a few minutes, all of you he doesn't even know that we exist. Why do we need to listen to him? Let's doodle something, let's talk, let's do whatever. Right? But eye contact. The second thing is, in terms of eye contact, once you make that eye contact, you are exhibiting confidence. People are like, okay, this person is, without consciously thinking about it, people are thinking, okay, this person knows what he or she is talking about. And therefore, you are going to make, because public speaking is also a lot about confidence. When the person who is speaking to you is confident, you feel that there is a compelling case for me to listen to this person, because this person is exhibiting that kind of confidence. Okay? Then the other thing that you need to do is, you don't want to stand like a statue, right, at attention or whatever, and just keep your hands on your side and talk the whole time. Even after a minute, you are going to understand that this doesn't make any sense at all. It's not effective at all, right? But if I'm able to say, look, there were two instances when we went and we were able to achieve what we wanted to achieve. There were many instances where we failed. But these are two things that I can tell you worked out very well for us. I'm using my gestures, I'm using gestures, I'm using my hands to express myself. Like Arya, very expressive. You don't need to shake your hands and do too much of acting, but you should have your hands free, which means that don't have your cell phone in your hand, never have a pen in your hand, especially the one which is the retractable one. You're going to keep doing this because you're nervous. Thank you. Right? And also don't have a handkerchief in your hand. My palms are sweaty, therefore I need to use a handkerchief. You don't have to. When you walk in there, speak. If necessary, just quietly rub your hands against your thighs, whatever, your dress a little bit, and then talk, because you're only going to be talking for 5 or 10 minutes during the pitch, right? But gestures are important. You can't hold your hands like this. For a few minutes, people are okay. In India, there are two ways that you can look at it. One, in India, you see a lot of school children, especially in government schools, in the Western world, this is a defensive gesture. You don't want people to do something to you, so you're protecting yourself by freezing and your hands, holding your hands together and doing this. Okay? Similarly, you don't want to do this. Yes, I want to talk to you today about this and that. I'm sorry, you can be a hero for your girlfriends and all of that, but not here. Do not put your hands in your pocket. Do not do that, because it conveys, arrogance. It conveys a different meaning than the positive impression that you think you're creating. When you want to impress girls, then yeah, do all of those things. But if they're girls silly enough to for those kinds of things, but otherwise, put your hands in your pocket, your hands behind your back, all of those things. Use your hands for gestures. The third major thing that I want to mention is in terms of voice modulation. Tomorrow, you're going to find a wonderful example of voice modulation. The worst example of voice modulation is you're looking at her. The entire day, you're going to find the voice going almost the same thing. Once in a while I realize it and then I raise and lower my pitch. But then my constant is this because I'm so busy worrying about my content. But that's not what you should be doing. When necessary, you should be going and saying, this is something that we should do. And there are things that we should be very careful not to do. Right? Even though I lowered my voice, you paid a lot more attention to me when I did that because you said there is something very important that he's saying. Okay? So you need to do that voice modulation. So don't go with voice modulation with what I am doing today. Follow what Praveen will do tomorrow. So from a body language and voice modulation perspective, one of the other things that you want to do, there are people who are going to make this mistake. They're going to say, I need to address the whole audience. I do this also until somebody told me, hey, by the way, you're blocking the screen, man. So you need to find the right position where you are. I want to make sure that I'm everybody. But if I have a screen and that's behind me, I can't be visible to everybody while they're still also looking at the screen. I want you to pay attention to me. Whenever you're speaking, the presentation is only a tool that's additional. It's not a replacement for you. Presentations are never a replacement for your speech. Presentations are an addition to whatever you're saying. So you're going to find yourself in a particular position and you're going to be speaking. When you speak, make sure that your feet are evenly spread apart with about 6 inches. If you're very tall, then maybe a little longer, wider, but otherwise about 6 inches apart. And balance your entire weight of your body on both your feet when you're talking to people. Because if you go and say, I am going to stand like this and talk, you're going to talk, and after 1 minute this leg is going to hurt because most of the weight is on this side. So you're going to go and shift to this side. And you know what's going to happen. This will start aching. So you'll shift to this side. And then you're going to be doing this. And people are going to be laughing at you saying, look at how he is dancing. We should watch Srinivas's class because he'll dance in the class. That's not what you're there for, right? You don't want to distract your audience. Therefore, rest your whole weight on both your feet rather than one foot. Okay? Stand erect, shoulders straighten, and talk with confidence. If you do this, people are not going to find you to be an energetic person, a confident person. So one of the last parts that I want to talk about, So the last part that I want to talk about is in terms of handling your question and answers. Every time you give a pitch, your pitch might be 4 minutes, but then they'll give you 2 minutes for Q&A. Your pitch might be for 6 minutes and they'll give you 3 minutes or 4 minutes for Q&A. Your pitch will be for 10 minutes and then they'll give you 5 minutes for Q&A. Okay? When you do that pitch and when they get to the Q&A part, one of the first things that happens is a lot of people are very nervous about the pitch. My God, what's going to happen? What do they think? I failed here, I failed there, I should not have said this, I forgot this, I forgot that, and so on. And as soon as they ask you a question, most of the people that I have seen, young people who don't have practice with pitches, before the question is completed, they start jumping to answer without understanding what the question is. And that is the worst mistake that you can make because they're asking you something and you're answering something else. Calm down, take a deep breath, let them ask the question. If you feel that you did not understand the question, can you please repeat the question? Repeat the question and you speak based. If you still did not, you can say, and this is what I understood your question. Am I right? And they'll say yes. So get the question right first, and then start answering. Okay. One of the reasons why I am telling you this is because of what our teachers have done, especially most of your teachers, from your school days and now college days. They don't want you to ask questions, right? And therefore they try to avoid any time when they say questions and all of that. And if you ask a question, they'll say, stop disturbing the class. Why are you interrupting this and that? So many times there are, teachers who are not confident, and so they won't let you ask questions. And so you've lost this idea of questions. And if you do ask a question, the thing is that you're being asked questions by your parents or your college on, where are you, why are you not here for lunch, and why did you not tell me that you're not coming in the afternoon, and all of that, right? And so what is your reaction to that? Your immediate reaction is defense. They are telling me I did something wrong, I need to immediately protect myself and defend myself and said I did not do anything. Photograph of me in if you want, there is a video record. You give all of that, right? That is what your first instinct is when somebody asks you a question in a pitch. Somebody is attacking me, I need to defend myself. Stop thinking of that person asking you the question as somebody is attacking you. Let them ask the question. Answer it as best as you can. If you don't know how to answer, say sorry, I don't have an answer for that. But see if you can answer it at best. Whatever best way that you can. Okay, but don't try to immediately defend yourself by saying, no, we did this and this and that and all of that. This already exists. This again. No, this exists. It's not just your. So, which one did you? And if you know the name, that one I'm aware. But here's how, what we are doing is different. Or if you're not aware of it, I see you have missed an important thing, I'll make a note of it, and I'll come back and talk to you if necessary, but I'll make a note of it and we'll pursue that. We'll take a look at that and see what we can learn from them and how we are different from them. But I believe that this might be a difference between them and us. I don't know, I'll check. You are telling them clearly and honestly, you do not know. Anybody in this room believes that you should know everything in this planet? Why would you expect investors to know everything? They expect you to know everything about your company, your idea, what's happening with your finance, who's there in your marketing team, where are you selling, what are you selling, how much are you selling it for? They expect you to know that. If you say, I don't know, somebody else knows that, that's a bad thing. But if you say, don't you know this customer and this particular person, and you could have sold it in Africa, no? I could have, but I don't know how to get that. Please connect me and we'll be happy to go to Africa. Right? Take it in a positive manner and try to answer as best as you can. If you don't know, don't worry too much. Just say, I do not know. Since the person with the pitch is not here, there's only one set of people who are there. Did you prepare your pitch? Do you have a pitch, yes or no?
Can we have a few minutes to go through it again?
Well, let me finish off with the overview then, and then we'll do that. Actually, let's do one thing. It's about 1 minute 3:59. We'll take a 5-minute break in case you need to go use the bathroom. At 4:05 we'll start. If you're ready with that, then you can pitch at that time. If not, I'll finish with whatever try to a break. You might have a snack for your snack. Better snacks than that. Detail orders. I'm just teasing.
అయితే సార్ ఫోర్త్ ఫ్లోర్కి రావా అంటే క్లాస్ బ్రేక్ అయింది
I will have it after I leave. Ready? Gala chegodi je. Let's go. If you're not ready, then we'll skip and we'll move on.
Hello, I am Ravindra Verma. This is my project for the Smart in 2024. Yeah, let's go. This is our problem solution. The problem statement is simple. We need to create a alumni portal for the universities. We are proposing a solution for them which is unique, which is different from the market. Yeah, we have used competitor. Still, we are having some USPs like it is a per instance for each university which can be customizable for them according to their needs, and we are adding the mentioned section for them. And there is a heat map features where they can track with like in which area how many alumni are there, how they can connect with them. These are the few additional features which we are more focusing on. Like we are including job portal, communities, we including alumni directories where alumni can directly share their works to their students itself. From our personal experience, we don't have connection with our alumni. Yeah, like as sir mentioned, like for few months back, we have one hack. In that, we went for the sponsorships. Then we came to know that one of our DigiPat owner is the alumni of our university. We don't know he is the alumni. from alumni side, he invested 20,000. If there is a platform like this, so students can expect to them, or even we need to conduct any events, we can send a request or proposal into website to showcase to other alumni. This is the technical workflow which we are following. In that, we are using for development and we are for like projection stage. This is the live website which is already deployed, which is at initial development stage. You can go through it. And next, this is our roughly values according to the market. More specifically, targeting our university. Annual revenue projections, what we can expect within the next 5 years. We are expecting the revenue of 1.75, which we targeted at least 60 universities we are using for this. And this is the impact which we can create. More basically, just important ones are like social impacts, economical impacts. What are social impacts? In the social impacts, we can enhance the mentorship support which is missing for this my experience in that university, and beyond that, career outcomes, because everyone is going for the typical more specifically university. How this platform will be benefit to them. More specifically for philanthropic support for them. Like university need to get funds of crores to construct our hostels or something. And then the last slide, this is our business model where the cost structure where we are expecting. This is our revenue model from where we will get the revenue. These are our customers. More, we are just crossing our limits to other like alumni associations, universities, schools, by retuning this software into a somewhat of just future. These are just references. These are our competitors where we created this business model. What are there? These are few research papers. In addition to that, in this drive link, we given almost 6 white papers which we grown to, like each and what terms you are using, philanthropic or something, how they are achieving, what are the research papers we happens or something. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, forget action part, sir.
డబ్బులు ఉన్నాయి కదా, పర్లేదు కదా. ఏమన్నా 1,00,000, 2,00,000 పెడితే సరిపోతుంది. Can you
any questions or any suggestions from the way of our speaking?
Starting the story.
Where is the story?
And maybe even the voice
He didn't mention the story, sir. He didn't mention the story, saying that we conducted a hackathon a couple of months ago where
That's the story.
That's the story of future. Sani is all models, they need single story.
హ్యాకథాన్ చేశారు, హ్యాకథాన్ లో మేము పార్టిసిపేట్ చేసాం. ఇదిగో మా ఏం చేసామో చూపిస్తున్నాం. అదా కదా.
sponsorship కోసం
Our rights are sponsored 20,000 guys, sir.
We didn't know he was a volunteer.
Yeah, we did that count. somewhere towards the end of the presentation, ఇలా వచ్చింది ఇలా మాయమైపోయింది. For that, we needed some funds to get started. We went around looking for a lot of people, and it turns out that we found one very generous donor. That generous donor turns out to be an alumni of Andhra University, our university. I did not even know that. If our alumni university portal for Andhra University was an effective portal, I would have been able to easily connect with that donor as well as other donors. And so we believe that this solution that I'm presenting to you is, an effective solution to counter or to make sure that other people like me are not going to, or like us, are not going to face the same problem. Little better than what we said, no? No?
Very good. Very good. Good.
You don't need to praise me, I'm just telling you. What are some things that you should and should not do in pictures? Let's go with the do's. Don't put the trash in there, I need that box. Yeah, after you throw away the trash, don't throw away the box, okay? So what are some common pitfalls, something that you want to avoid, some problems? Big bump in the road, hole in the road, kind of like in indoor, I guess. There's a huge truck that fell into a hole. And what are some, in terms of best practices? So let's talk about do's and don'ts. One of the things that you want to do is keep your pitch concise and keep focused. Don't stray away from your pitch and what you're trying to convey to people. Keep your goal in mind. Why are you presenting? Am I presenting to get money from the person who is listening to me, the person is listening to me? Am I presenting to win a pitch competition? And if so, how do they expect me to pitch? Make sure that you're using visuals, good quality visuals that are effective. Something that immediately conveys good, something that is nice and effective. Don't be dull and just say, I'm here because I have to be here and I have to do this. My teammates won't come and so I'm stuck doing this job. Show some passion and enthusiasm. And as I told you at the beginning of today's session, practice extensively. If you're going to want to win the pitch competition, the pitch that you just gave, for example, your team, the pitch that you gave, every single day you should have been pitching for 3 times a day at least. Between now and October, whenever you're going to whatever place, minimum, right? So that by the time you go to that day, that whatever, it is so automatic that you build muscle memory in your brain that even if thousands of people are there and you're nervous, you won't forget. Once you get started, you will deliver. And once again, another thing that we had talked about, make sure that your pitch is based on your audience. If your audience is young children, you'll talk differently. If your audience is full of professors, you'll talk differently. If your audience is full of people like you, you'll talk in a different way. Then when it comes to don'ts, one of the biggest things that you don't want to do in a pitch, in any presentation is don't put too much text in there. Okay? You've all seen your college professors, teachers go and put all the text on the slide. Because once you put all the text on the slide, what do? And so you're going to do that. You're going to say pitching do's and don'ts. Don't use too much text or complex jargon. And you're reading from the screen and your back is towards your audience. Your audience is not there to look at your back. They're there to look at you and what you're presenting. And what about your eye contact? Remember, I told you eye contact is the single biggest thing that you should be doing. And anytime you're going and presenting, don't go and say, I'll sell to 1,000 colleges in the next 1 year. I'll sell 1 million business cards. I'll go and set up these micro malls in all over Visakhapatnam, 70 places in Visakhapatnam. Don't go with unrealistic, overconfident expectations and projections. Make sure that you're confident, make sure that you're being a little aggressive, but don't be overconfident. Do understand that there will be risks and challenges when you are doing the presentations, in terms of your business, and therefore you should be aware of the risks and challenges. Right? And don't ignore those things. You can go and say, I'll go and do a flip phone, and I'll create this flip phone and I'll spend all my billions of rupees on flip phones, crores and crores, and then it turns out that phones itself won't be around because there's another technology that has come in its place. So you don't want to do that. As I just told you, don't read from the slides. As much as possible, try to have some kind of your laptop or something that is in front of you so that you're not looking back. But even there, I don't want to keep looking down at the slides and trying to read from there because I'm losing eye contact with you. And the minute, once you see me doing this and you're a seasoned, professional, you will know that I did not come prepared if I keep looking at my slides. If I don't look at my slides, which is as much as possible what I've done since this morning, you have some confidence in my ability that, okay, this fellow came prepared. He's not trying to just read from there and say something just like that. And that's important for you in a pitch. Stick to your time. Don't go over your time. We are going to be going from 10 to 5 today and tomorrow, right? And today is supposed to be 10 to 5. We started a little late for 10:15 and it's supposed to go on till 5. But I leave you at 4:30. You are going to be very happy. Even if I've done a fantastic job, you are going to be very happy. Good job, well done. I start taking more than 5 p.m. Like before 5 p.m. Okay, let me do bags, let me go, let me do that. Right? Human nature. So just avoid going over your allocated time. So let's wrap up with what we have done today since this morning. Just so that you remember. Before we go into, actually let me do this first and then I'll do that. We talked about the problem and the solution. What should we do about the problem? Clearly define your problem, and then half your problem solution is already there. And then you're able to go and say, okay, present a compelling unique solution. Then look at your market opportunity. What are the different things that I do in my market size? So salmon soap, that's where the doctor is. I would strongly suggest that you go through that. The difference between you in your class of, 60 or 40 students that are there, and you is going to be this, that you will know this and they won't know that, and therefore it's one advantage that you have. Of course, I'd love for you to share it with them and help them also learn, but I'm just telling you. And by telling them, you're actually learning more. Right? You're teaching somebody something, and when you're teaching somebody something, you're also you first need to learn before you teach. Therefore, it's useful for you. Then when it comes to the product, the What are the different things that you need to cover in the business model? And how am I going to become profitable? What is it that's going to make me profitable? How am I going to go to market? How will I sell? Through stores, to online? What are the different methods that I'm going to do? My competitive landscape. Who's my competition? What are they good at? How am I different from them? Those kinds of things. Then what are you? What are your advantages? Then when it comes to your team, how are your team? How are they good? What are the different complementary things that they have? And how they will be of help to you. Then financials, key projections, meaning your revenue, cost, profits, customers, and so on, your growth, projections. A clear ask, what do you want from the people listening to you? How much do you want? How much will you give them? What can they expect in return? And yeah, delivery time, all the different things, do's and don'ts about the pitch. That's all the things that we prepared, and we also talked about being ready for Q&A. Remember to not be defensive, be open to questions, and if you don't know, that's okay to say I don't know, thank you for giving the information, or I'll find out, and so on. But try to see if you can answer the question by thinking first. If you can't, then just say don't know. Okay? And the final tips that we mentioned. Keep it concise, keep it focused. Tailor your pitch to your audience. But the biggest thing, a clear, compelling story on how and why a startup is an opportunity that nobody wants to miss. They should not be leaving the auditorium. They should be saying, oh, I better invest in this before somebody else grabs this opportunity. This seems like a great opportunity for me. So how do you do that is something that you need to figure out. Sorry, should have updated that slide. Any questions? Great. So, as I said, thank you. 4:30. You're free to go. I'm good with my time. I'm very happy. Normally, I always go achieve my time, but I'm happy that I'm finishing now. Okay. Thank you. Tomorrow we are going to be starting at 10 a.m. sharp. Please be here before that time, because we will inform them. Sorry about the inconvenience this morning. We will inform them and they would know, so they'll be able to allow you upstairs fast. Upstairs you'll have to sign in again, so be ready for that. 10 a.m. sharp. My partner is going to come, Praveen Sansla. He's going to be really, really good. He's fantastic at networking. He's got all kinds of networks. It's amazing. I told you about this last time. Do you remember? No? So my partner has, friends who are basically chartered accountants. He's got a group of CAs. He's got a group of doctors. He's a civil engineer. He's got a group of civil engineers. He's got his classmates. He's got his Andhra University alumni. He's got a group of lawyers. He's got a group of construction people because he's into real estate. He's got a group of trainers. And he's got a group of IAS officers or people that he knows. It's amazing the kind of people that he knows and how he keeps in touch with them, and everybody is happy talking to him and all of that. So it's really, really important for you at this age to learn from him to do this. So, benefit. And MBA that you're doing, PGDM. The PGDM is something that I want to tell you, happen. A while back, somebody from